Now, it's been roughly a couple of years that Singapore began developing blockchain and crypto regulation, as well as testing CBDCs with a consortium of central
Mm.
banks. For our viewers' edification, how has Singapore's regulatory approach to digital assets evolved over the last couple of years? And how has the country's approach to crypto regulation contributed to positioning it as a regional and global crypto hub, this frankly almost mature ecosystem that you just described?
I have not seen, or maybe I have also not worked as closely, to be fair, with other central banks. But if I were to do just nearby comparisons, I've not seen another central bank that will engage the startup ecosystem via a WhatsApp group chat. So today, we basically, like the Blockchain Association has this member group chat whereby the regulator is part of the group chat. Yeah, and also the FinTech Association is the same thing. Sometimes we can real time ask a question about any regulations or complain for that matter about regulations over WhatsApp, and we may not get it addressed, but is that engaging? And MAS has two arms. Basically, they have one that's on policy supervision, and they have another arm on business development. And I thought that's a really brilliant way of splitting the regulator, because then one part of MAS has that mandate to go out and understand what the private companies are doing, what the startups are doing, what the industry is saying, and what the regulator should do. And the other part really looks into policy and governance. They don't, maybe they're not with the industry all the time, so that you create that balance internally. And I think that way of is a really good idea, and we're seeing that really yielding good impact on the industry, as the industry grew. And even though right now we are adjusting policies as we learn, right? And also due to the recent AML cases, as the government learns and they tweak some of these policies, I think it comes with good learnings that maybe our neighboring countries should really reference because these learnings, these learnings all came with a price, right? So we've paid our price for learning. So as the association grew, yes, we've gotten a good base. We've gotten the right players, we've gotten the wrong ones. And then as we balance things out a little with clearer policies, I think the ecosystem will become healthier. And each wave it becomes healthier, and each learnings is a little subtle. I think whatever we learned as a nation, say over the last 5 years, should really be studied by the neighboring countries so that they will not repeat similar mistakes, and that the high chance will be able to then have clearer policies faster over time, as well as the crypto companies kind of expand their business to Southeast Asia countries.
What an
Mm.
interesting, perspective that you just shared,
Mm.
particularly the part about this business development arm of the MAS. I mean, something that perhaps is sometimes said about policy and regulation, it lags innovation. And by the time policy and regulation is developed, perhaps innovation, particularly technological innovation, has far exceeded the regulation that's been developed. And so to listen to you talk about a country's, perhaps one of the most important institution of any country, kind of leaning in, working with companies, seeking out those companies, listening and working to them, is really clever. And I have to agree with you that other central banks and monetary authorities should look to Singapore and follow
Mm.
at least this example.
Yeah,
Now,
and
I'd
you
like to.
and you know the policies that is being rolled out. There's actually a window that MAS will engage the community or the associations to get feedbacks before they officialize it. So after they listen to us, the first draft of the policy doesn't come out and catch us by surprise. They actually get further inputs after the first round of inputs. So the three associations, we have three associations that works very closely with MAS. Besides the Blockchain Association, the FinTech Association, there's another one called Access. And these three association actually gets invited to look at the final draft and still provide inputs before it's announced. Yeah, and we also have instances whereby we managed to suggest some changes, even though it's in its final draft. So I think that really validates the openness of the regulator to make sure they are regulating something that is useful to the industry. Yeah, and despite me saying that, a lot of times the industry comes with our own agenda. So being the regulator is very hard. as you choose to listen, it's not a matter of should I just choose to listen or not, because you're gonna get all kinds of inputs with different agendas, and to see if it makes sense out of all the inputs is a hard thing to do.